Have you ever wondered what everything around you is made of? Or how a seemingly solid object can transform into something completely different? Well, welcome to the intriguing universe of matter and energy. Everything, yes, everything around you and including you is made of matter. And by everything, we mean all objects, substances, people, and even the air we breathe. Now let's talk about energy. Energy is like the secret sauce that makes the world go round. It's what gives us the ability to do work or cause change. And speaking of change, matter isn't always as steady as it appears. It can undergo both physical and chemical changes. Imagine a piece of paper crumpled into a ball or a cake baking in the oven. Both are examples of matter changing right before our eyes. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this fascinating world of changes in matter. Trust us, it's going to be a thrilling ride. Imagine a block of ice melting on a hot day. Ever wonder what's happening there? It's a physical change. Now, you might be thinking, what do we mean by a physical change? Well, let's dive into it. Physical changes are all around us, happening every moment of every day. It's the ice melting in your drink, the butter melting on your toast, or even the steam rising from a hot cup of coffee. But what makes these changes physical? In a physical change, a substance alters its physical state but remains the same substance. Think of it as a costume change in a play. The actor is the same, but their appearance has shifted. Similarly, when ice melts, it changes from a solid to a liquid. It's still water, but its form has changed. Now let's take our ice block example. On a hot day, the ice, which is in a solid state, begins to absorb heat from its surroundings. As it absorbs this heat, the ice's temperature increases, and it starts to change from a solid to a liquid. This change from solid to liquid is what we call melting. But the fascinating part is, throughout this entire process, the ice remains water. It's just that now, instead of being in a solid state, it's in a liquid state. But here's the twist. These physical changes can often be reversed. If we were to take our puddle of water and cool it down, it would turn back into ice. This ability to reverse a physical change is what sets it apart from a chemical change, but we'll dive into that later. So remember, physical changes are all about the form, not the substance. It's the same actor, just in a different costume. And just like in a play, the actor can change costumes multiple times, a substance can undergo multiple physical changes. So even though that ice has melted into a puddle, it's still H2O at its core, just in a different form. Ready for some fun? We're about to create slime, a perfect example of a physical change. Now let's roll up our sleeves and dive into the gooey world of slime making. This experiment is not only safe and fun, but it also teaches us a lot about physical changes in matter. But before we start, remember, safety always comes first. So make sure you're not allergic to any of the ingredients we're about to use. First, grab a bowl and pour in some white glue. The glue is the base of our slime, and it's made up of long, stringy molecules called polymers. These polymers flow past each other easily, which is why glue is liquid and can be poured. Next, add some water to the glue and stir until it's all mixed up. Then toss in some food coloring if you want your slime to be a fun color. Now here's where the magic happens. Add a small amount of borax solution to your mixture. Borax is our slime activator. When you add it to the glue, it causes the polymer chains in the glue to stick together, creating that ooey gooey slime we all love. As you stir, you'll notice the mixture starting to come together. It will get thicker and begin to form a blob. Give it a good mix until it's just too tough to stir. At this point, it's time to get your hands dirty. Knead the mixture until you have a perfect stretchy slime. Voila! You've just witnessed a physical change. Even though our slime looks and feels different from the glue and borax we started with, it's still made up of the same substances. The molecules have just rearranged themselves into a new form. That's the beauty of physical changes. Now, you can have hours of fun stretching, squishing, and playing with your slime. Just remember, don't eat it. While it might look like a tasty treat, it's definitely not edible. Remember, no matter how much you stretch and squish it, your slime is still made of the same stuff it started as. Now, what if I told you that a burning log in your fireplace is not just a simple physical change, but a more complex chemical change? When we talk about chemical changes in matter, we're talking about transformations that result in a new substance altogether. Imagine a log in your fireplace. You light it up, and as it burns, it transforms into something completely different. The solid wood becomes heat, light, smoke, and ash. This is a prime example of a chemical change. Unlike a physical change where the substance remains the same, a chemical change creates something new. It's like a magical transformation. The log isn't just a log anymore. It becomes a source of warmth, a beacon of light, a puff of smoke, and a pile of ash. So the next time you're curling up by the fire, think about this. You're not just seeing a log burn, you're witnessing a fascinating chemical change, a dance of molecules that leads to the creation of something new. So, when you're roasting marshmallows over a fire, you're witnessing a spectacular chemical change right in front of your eyes. We've been on a journey exploring the fascinating world of matter and energy. We've seen how matter, that stuff that makes up everything around us, can transform in some really cool ways. We kicked off our adventure by diving into physical changes in matter. Remember how we talked about how matter can change its form without changing what it fundamentally is? Like when water freezes into ice or evaporates into steam, it's still water. It's just wearing a different outfit. Then we got our hands sticky with that fun experiment making slime. That's a physical change too. The glue and the borax mix together to make something that feels totally different. But at the end of the day, they're still glue and borax. They haven't changed their nature, they've just changed their look. But then we ventured into the territory of chemical changes in matter. This is where things get a little wild. In a chemical change, the very nature of matter changes. It's like when you bake a cake. You mix together flour, eggs, sugar, and other ingredients and put it in the oven. When it comes out, it's not just a hot mix of ingredients, it's a whole new thing. A cake. That's a chemical change. And what's really cool is that all these changes, physical and chemical, they're all about matter and energy. When water freezes or boils, that's about energy being taken away or added. When we made slime or baked a cake, that's matter absorbing energy to change its form or its very nature. Matter and energy, they're everywhere, in everything we do, in everything we see. They're in the food we eat, the air we breathe, the games we play. They're in the stars in the sky and the ground beneath our feet. And they're always changing, always dancing, in a never-ending ballet of transformation. So the next time you see ice melting or logs burning, remember, it's all about the fascinating dance of matter and energy.